Over the last little bit, you've seen us transform an old rundown thrift store into the state-of-the-art aquarium and reptile zoo, the Legasea Aquarium. We've made tons of aquariums for koi fish and predator fish, our stingray tank, turtle pond, and we even made some rooms for our mammals. That's just for the aquarium side, but for the reptile side, yeah, it's still empty. But today, that all changes. We actually got a cool sneak peek preview of the enclosures that are coming in for the Reptarium. And Stuart from Universal Rocks is an absolute genius when it comes to setting up these reptile enclosures. And he's been super hard at work getting everything ready for us. I cannot wait to see what they look like.
Okay, so what I've done different with these enclosures for Brian is no one sees the back of it. No one sees the side of it. So it's just not necessary. And typically, if you're going to build yourself a nice reptile room, you don't want to see that. All you want to see is the animals. That's it. You want to have the lighting, the aeration, everything perfect, but you don't want to see all the sides and the back of it. It's like going into a zoo. You don't just see an enclosure. They create the whole area to be finished out. Well, that's what this is. This is the metal frame with the timber on the front, and then our paneling is just going to get wrapped on here and stapled to this. Really quick process to cover all the fronts of these. So if you really want to make a big reptile enclosure room or a zoo, this process I think is all you need. You don't need to do fancy cages. You just need timber at the front, obviously the glass doors, obviously the wire on top for the animal to breathe, and put the heat lamps and whatnot. And then it's perfect. It's all done after a few hours of work. You'll have all the fronts of it finished, and you're gonna have a custom cage.
And Stuart is so right. You see how much hard work Ahmed, Felipe, their teams have put in to making these amazing enclosures. Don't get me wrong, they look absolutely incredible. But it takes teams of like 10 people, months to get this work done. We've built like 7 enclosures. We obviously need way more than 7 enclosures to fill the entire reptarium up with reptiles. I mean, we have tons of animals coming from across the street. If we were to build all these out of concrete, it would take years to do. Luckily, Universal Rocks and Stuart has a great way of getting this done with just a small team in a small amount of time. To make just concrete look like an actual piece of rock from a mountain takes a lot of skilled labor, a lot of time, and a lot of resources. Where a room like Drogo's room literally was done pretty much by Brian alone, with a little help from me, but mostly by Brian, in like a day. So you can do so much work in so little time with almost no skill needed whatsoever, and that's why Universal Rocks rocks.
Dang, look at that.
That's gonna be cool, but also fun to clean.
Ooh,
I like how like small they are. Like I want to know.
Wow.
I like the coloring, dude.
The moss.
The moss. It's the jungle.
It's very artistic.
Very artistic.
Oh, that cake is so good. It's so good.
This is done with our black basalt, which we don't normally do. This was a special one for you, Brian. It looks like you're out of the middle of the jungle. By the time I have all plants on this and moss and greenery, and it's going to be incredible. Good job, Robert. I didn't even make this.
Where is he from?
Australia sounds like. I don't know that.
Dude, those cages look sick.
That's crazy.
If this is your favorite here, what's your favorite here?
Just let me show you.
Let's go.
You want to see number one?
You're number one?
This enclosure.
Is your favorite or your not favorite?
It is one of my favorites. I love this thing.
We're
Well,
holding
one,
snake.
I can stand up in it,
Oh,
so it's a pretty big cage. I love all this. We use this enclosure for like our junior zookeeper stuff too.
Wait, what was that you said about junior zookeeper program?
We use this enclosure for that as part of our experience. They can all work together and help us clean the enclosure. And then sometimes the kids, like last time, they started climbing the walls like they were at a rock climbing
Can
park.
we rate this enclosure on a scale of 1 to 10 being your favorite? 10 being your absolute
think
most favorite.
It is probably a 10 for me.
Wow.
And I like the simplicity.
Sorry,
Like, we
the
don't even
snakes
have a lot of
scare me.
plants in this enclosure, and it still looks amazing.
There's no plants.
No plants.
Exactly.
What, and now can you imagine if it did have plants?
Yeah, but for other animals, these are desert dwellers.
Okay, almost 4.
3,609.
Just talk about the enclosure.
All right, this ivy enclosure.
It's nice, right?
I really love this enclosure. What I don't like is what's in it. I'll be honest.
Ivy?
Ivy. And typically poop. There's poop in the water.
Is there poop in there right now? Is that why it's green?
Yeah. Because every day
Aren't we open tonight?
we're working on it. Okay.
Clean it. We'll
We're
clean
getting
it.
there.
I trust
Yesterday I
Connie.
cleaned this 4 times
I know Connie
after
will
2
clean it.
o'clock.
I know Connie will clean it.
And I think these enclosures all look great, but it really does depend on the animals that you put inside it too, because obviously Ivy likes to blow it up a lot, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt to clean. But I really, really like this enclosure. On a scale?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where is this?
Probably about a 2.
2. Nice.
Yeah.
I think Baby Kush is another one of my favorite because he's definitely higher than Ivy, but he does.
But is
make
it
a
more
mess.
of the animal that you like a lot, or the cage?
No, I really like this enclosure. The way that it's angled. What is it called again? Neo angle. But then like this stuff,
I think he likes Connie.
the branches and stuff. I feel like his enclosure crush tree, we can do a lot more.
What
of
about the
those.
plants?
Plants could use a couple TLCs.
Where does you rate this?
Give it a 9.
Okay, cool.
You're
Yeah.
crazy.
It's my favorite. It really took me a minute to debate between this one and Lucy's.
Thank you for showing us your enclosure.
It's Connie's turn.
This is one of my favorites. I'll say 2.
The animal or the cage?
Because look at this. None of the other cages.
So do you like the animals inside?
Tree? Do you see that? There's just a tree up front in the middle of,
There's also a tree in
in the middle for like no reason.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
Mike, you know everything.
No, I don't.
Okay.
You just say I do.
That's an impossible question to answer right now. Elvis's enclosure, I don't like it. I don't like it. It is cool in
Is
theory.
it the enclosure or the animal that
It's
you don't like?
the animal. It's definitely the animal. I mean, no, it's the enclosure. I can't
Okay.
say that. It is artistically speaking, design-wise, like it looks pretty. And then like there's these little pockets in the back.
Oh,
Jay,
poop
can you show?
pockets.
And they get pee and everything and liquids stuck in them, and there's no good way of like going and cleaning them out.
So
you
you
have
gotta
to army crawl and you're like this, and you're like trying to scrub, and it's just not ergonomic. This one's my favorite, at least for this side, purely for the reason because it's so vertically tall, and it's nice after doing Toothless, Waffles, Elvis, Bella. You come here and you're like, whoa. I mean, it's still not tall enough to stand up in, but it's like a nice break, and you're like, you can just be in it without having to be completely like crouched down. And on top of that, I mean, look how beautiful the design in here is. They have this down tree, this like little landing pad, and all the plants and stuff like that. It's definitely a pretty cage.
So, Connie, on a scale of
Yes.
1 to 10, not with
Yes.
Beetlejuice here, because of course we love Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
On a scale of 1 to 10 with this enclosure,
Yes.
man, you guys have really been crushing it. I don't think I tell you guys enough.
This is the nicest he's been in
Good
like
job.
months.
Good job. I'm really proud of you guys. This place looks great, and the animals are.
So he touched my bone with his nail. the
Mike,
other
are you
day.
gonna be a crybaby? Or one of my favorite enclosures is Bowser's. I mean, look at this thing. There's a waterfall. Water. And there's a snapping turtle. There's light branches. There's plants. We got fake coral snake. We got a fake rattlesnake. We have painted rocks. We have Komodo dragon action figures. We have branches, we have water, we have a snapping turtle, we have light. And let me show you guys the best part. Are we talking about a scale of 1 to 10 for Bowser? Oh God.
We can do both.
Lift with your back, just back only.
First off, I just want his tail not wrapped around my tiny ankle. Enclosure? 22.
Okay. Bowser.
That's high.
94.
Sick.
Wow.
And of course, not to say what Connie said because there's a tree in here, but there is a tree in here. And I do love this enclosure. It's super interchangeable. It's quiet. It's peaceful. My favorite.
Series then. Oh, Jay, scale of 1 to 10.
Are we talking about Drogo or
Enclosure
the
first. Enclosure first.
Enclosure? 12.
You keep going off the scale.
Jay, what are you doing?
I thought I was showing you guys my favorite enclosures.
I thought you thought this was a challenge or something. Is this actually one of your favorites?
No, this actually is. I mean, look at how good this enclosure is. I can get in here, I can sit, I can be this close to an albino and a melanistic alligator. I mean, listen, guys, where else can you do this? Anywhere in the world. Where can you sit with an albino and a melanistic alligator at the same time?
In 2 months across the street.
Wow.
Scale of 1 to 10.
45.
Jay, what's your favorite?
But you only get to pick one.
Yeah. You see him
have to
every
pick
single day.
Your absolute favorite.
You put in the video. What's your favorite?
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a second. It's none of these for sure.
Wow.
I don't like the see-through ones.
I know.
I'm not a see-through. I'm not a big fan of see-through.
Funny
Funny enough,
one
I
time.
love this enclosure.
You like?
I like the fact that like you can. There's like glass a little bit on this side. There's glass on this
Jay,
side.
I'll model
big.
it for you
Model
while
it,
you,
Dylan?
while you talk.
Yeah, please.
Now, as far as animals go, I'm not like the biggest iguana fan, but that's a beautiful iguana and some cool tortoises.
He thinks
Look at those
he's getting that.
tortoises. And I like all the composition of the branches going across. Nice Malawi rock on the back, dude. And Stuart did something really cool with these that I like, where he used clear silicone to make it look like the rock is bleeding. And that would be my favorite enclosure.
Yeah, let's 1 to 4.
Animals or the enclosure or interaction?
All 3.
Okay, interaction, I'd say 75 because people love these tortoises.
Yeah.
I'd say animals, 12. Oh wait, we're doing 1 to 10?
Yeah.
1 to 14? Okay, then animals definitely 17 for sure. And the enclosure as a whole, 38.
That's great. I'm so glad we.
Alright guys, and it's not just us that's super excited for these enclosures to show up, but also the animals. Like I was saying, like Beetlejuice enclosure is actually going to get like 3 times his size. So it will be taller than me, which 7 foot is giant compared to me actually. But then like everything else from Salt and Pepper to Bowser to the big retics and stuff, everything's going to get bigger enclosures, and it's going to be better for the animals. And they'll be happier, and we can do more training and interaction. And it'll be fun for you guys too. So I can't wait, and we just are so excited, and thank you, Stuart, and we can't wait to see him.
So as for now, yes, the Reptarium side is a little bit empty. It's a little bit blank, a little bit lackluster compared to the rest of the aquarium that's been built so far, but that's all changing soon. We're getting our first shipments here from Universal Rock any day, and this place is gonna start getting fitted out, man. It's so awesome to see. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. Speaking about...
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember,